Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. And, if I can get this centered, welcome to my annual Super Saturday Bash. That's right. It's time to grab your officially tied, sponsored NFL footballs. Put on your crazy NFL football helmets and shove your hand firmly into your giant oversized foam fingers. Because it's time for a marathon today on DSPGaming. This helmet doesn't even really fit me, does it? It looks like huge. Holy crap. It's a giant helmet. I don't think I would ever be able to play real football, or NFL football, I guess I should say, before I offend people. I don't know if my head would actually fit inside of a football helmet. What a what a view, huh? So, people are saying you need the beer helmet. This is the beer helmet. This is the same beer helmet that I used last year without the beer attachments because they were terrible. After I tried to drink beer out of this helmet last year, the entire thing leaked like crazy. So I just ripped those pieces off and threw them out, knowing that eventually I'd probably use the helmet again. And now here we are a year later. It's the day before the Super Bowl, and we're going to have a fun marathon event here on the channel. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to get all this crap off of me for now. I can't even hear anything when I wear that helmet. Seriously, like, there's foam and everything, and it creates this weird echoing in the helmet. And I can't actually, like, hear myself when I'm doing it. It's, like, really weird. It freaks me out. Anyway, so, I hope that everyone is in a good mood and ready for some antics today here on DSPGaming. Because today, it is marathon time. And as you know, I'm a huge fan of football. Not really, but we are going to do something fun to start off this year. You know, I haven't done any special events at all this year. And this is the first one to kick stuff off. This is going to be a good one. And then probably the next one is going to be my birthday celebration in early April. So, what a day we got in store here today. First of all, today is Saturday, the 10th of February, 2024. Yes, indeed, this is the Level 1 podcast. Even though things look a little different with the dress and the like. But this is the podcast, and today is a special event that is not going to be 2 standard streams like I usually do, but instead it's going to be a variety of content here on the channel, which I hope you guys will enjoy. Let's talk a little bit about that, shall we? So here's how it's going to work. In just a little bit, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put a poll up here in the chat where you guys are going to vote on the order of stuff that we do today. Now, allow me to explain the agenda so you guys know kind of what we have as options for things to do today. We don't have to do them all. You know, we've been talking about this event for about a month now, kind of planning on and off what we want, what we don't want to do. And there's kind of a few things that are, you know, not really determined yet. And I'm cool with that. I told you guys this event is meant to be more of a laid-back event. This is not, oh, we're doing an event where we absolutely have to play these 5 games and we have to squeeze them all in a certain amount of time, so we have to space them out so we play enough of each one. It's not like that at all, actually, okay? It's very much going to be more relaxed, more just chill, hanging out with me all day. There's going to be booze. Now, I'm not drinking yet because it's 11:18 a.m., and I feel like it should at least be the afternoon before I have a first alcoholic beverage of the day. But I have several different things I can drink today, including Long Island iced tea, rum punch, the leftover beers from last year. Yes, I'm not kidding you. The beers that I had drinking out of this helmet a year ago, I still have 3 of them in the back of my fridge. I found them the other day. I was like, holy shit, I still have these. I'll drink them today. So we're going to have those. And I got some tequila. If we want to do shots or something later. So we have all of that. And I'm going to be sipping on some of that stuff pretty much all day long. Food. My wife's going to be making food 3 different times today. First, she's going to make these things called pizza bombs or pizza balls. What they are, they're little dough balls. And inside you bake like mozzarella. And you put seasonings and Parmesan cheese on top. And you dip them in marinara sauce. So that's going to be like the first party-style snack that we're going to have probably later on this afternoon. Then, for dinner, she's going to make homemade quesadillas with chicken and green onions and tomatoes and all kinds. Actually, it's not tomatoes, it's pico de gallo. That's right. And all kinds of stuff. And we got like sour cream and guacamole to dip that in. So that's going to kind of be like the dinner. But then, later today, when we're going to do the simulated Super Bowl event in Madden 24, she's going to make a 6-layer dip. And that 6-layer dip is going to have all kinds of stuff, like beans and olives and all kinds of ingredients. And I'm going to be having some of that while we simulate the Super Bowl match. I'll eat some while I commentate on it, okay? So, it's basically all party foods all day long while we party together. And the question is, well, what are we going to be doing outside of eating and drinking? Well, we have a wide variety of things on the agenda, okay? So, here's the possibilities. There's definitely 2 things I've locked in. The first thing that I've locked in is obviously I want to simulate the Super Bowl. You guys told me you wanted something NFL related. I said, well, let's figure it out. And it just so happens that Madden went free on Game Pass. So now we can play Madden today. You guys have to help me set it up, obviously, because I've never even booted this game before. But we have to do a simulation match between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers using the current rosters and everything. I think that would be neat. And certainly I hope that you guys will join me for that later on. I'm thinking that should be like our finale, like what we do at the end of today's marathon is the simulated game, so that way it kind of builds up to that, everything else that we're doing, right? So that'll maybe be the end. And, you know, if we do a game that's 4 quarters and each quarter is 15 minutes, it'll probably take around an hour to do. So whenever we want to finish the marathon, let's say we want to start that by like 6:30 and then finish this marathon by like 7:38, we could do that. I think that would be neat. Outside of that, the only other thing absolutely locked in is we're going to do some Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth today, and we're going to try to unlock the NFL player in the game. If there was a day that was pertinent to do it, today would be the day, correct? And basically, we have gotten to the point in the game where the jobs are unlocking. We actually unlocked the Aquanaut, which is like a surfer, and a fire dancer, and we actually are just about to advance to a part where we unlock this crazy challenge dungeon that's an optional dungeon, and it's perfect for grinding and getting money and leveling up these jobs. So what I need to do is go into that dungeon for a bit today while we're chilling, while we're hanging out and I'm drinking and we're having fun, because this game is very interactive, meaning we could talk a lot when I play it. Basically what we're going to do is grind in that dungeon, try to get resources out of it, and then we're going to try to get my confidence level in the game up. You have to hit the confidence level of 5. It's one of the stats in the game. And then with money and confidence 5, you can unlock the NFL player. And then I want to actually play with the NFL player class for a little bit and see what it's like. I think that's going to be pretty neat. The NFL player was exclusive to those who bought the premium edition of the game, which I did. And I want to see what the events are. I'm hoping that his abilities and everything are going to be really good, right? I'm being asked, did I ever throw a football? Of course I did. I used to throw a football with my dad. I used to throw a football with my friends all the time. When I was a kid, in school, in recess, absolutely. I've thrown a football. It's actually quite easy. All you got to do is, as you're throwing the football and you're moving forward, you add a little bit of spin to your wrist, and it actually makes it spiral. That's what these are for. You ever wonder what the laces are for? That you hold it by that, you space it out with your fingers, and you throw it. Gives you extra grip, and it allows you to get that torque, that spin when you toss it. American football is pretty fun. it was one of my favorite sports when I was growing up, and I actually watched it actively in the 2000s, and was following it for like 4 or 5 years with my friends. Anyway, so welcome everyone to the marathon. So those are the two things we're definitely doing. Okay, we're doing the simulated Super Bowl at the end, and we're going to be doing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth at some point to unlock the NFL player. Okay, now that's not going to be the whole marathon. If we add that up, it's like going to be like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Well, I'm streaming all day. You know, we just started now. Once this podcast is done, I'm going to be streaming all the way through till like 8 p.m. with limited breaks to use the bathroom, grab food or whatever. So you might say, well, what else are we going to do? Okay, here we go. So basically, we are going to be doing optional stuff, and you're going to vote on what you want to see. So what are the optional options today? Option number 1, Tekken 8. If you guys want me to play some Tekken 8 today, I will do that with the characters who I know. You know, June, King, Paul. And, you know, I'll probably just go randomly online and just do some matches there, okay? That's option number 1. Option number 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. The game just got an update that basically added a whole bunch of stuff this week. It had the seasonal update or whatever it is. In fact, if I boot it now, I just want to see. Yeah, it did. It has the new title screen and everything. So we can play new maps there. We can, you know, I haven't played this in a while, so I'm sure there's going to be new content. Yeah, it says Season 2 now. It's purple. It went from red to purple. That's a little weird. I'm trying to get it to log in. Checking for update. This is what I'm doing it because it's probably going to have an update. Yep, update requires restart. I figured so. So, yeah, Call of Duty. And the thing is with Call of Duty, it's fun. I could use different weapons. You know, it doesn't have to be super serious. I can use dual handguns. I can use, you know, a melee weapon and run around stabbing people or whatever. It's fun to play Call of Duty, especially because it's not super serious anymore. I don't really give a shit, right? So, oh god, it's actually playing the intro cuts, intro fucking cinematic. Seriously. Well, hold on a second. There. Fuck that. I'll let it play. I'll mute it, and I'll let it play, and this way we don't have to watch it later. Good. Let it fucking play, and you guys don't have to hear it. I muted it. All right, so Call of Duty, possibly. So Tekken 8, Call of Duty are the multiplayer options for today. But another thing that we can do, and I apologize because I totally had a brain fart about this. We talked about it a week or two ago, and I completely forgot. We can play some Power World. Power World is chill fun. And actually, last stream, I had major progress where not only did I catch a bunch of high-level pals, but I also beat the first boss. The game opened up, like, way major with all these different areas to explore. So we could do Power World today, too. And that's always fun for relaxing stuff, interactive stuff. So the way I see it, we could do some multiplayer fun stuff if you want more competition, more tense stuff, even though I'm not going to be playing it ultra seriously. Like I said, I'm going to be drinking all day, so to me, it's not going to be like, oh, I'm really trying to win every match that I play today. It's more messing around and being silly. Or we could do some Power World relaxing, and we're going to try to get the NFL player in Like a Dragon, and we're going to simulate the Super Bowl. So we got a lot going on today, right? Like, there's a lot of cool stuff, and I'm excited for that. And what I'm going to do is, in a little bit, we are going to do a poll here live on the stream where you guys are going to vote. What do you want to see first? And so the options will be Like a Dragon, Power World, Tekken 8, and Call of Duty. And depending on what you vote for first, that's actually what we're going to do first, okay? Stupid thing says unclaimed rewards. I didn't even log in. How could there be unclaimed rewards? This is so dumb. This game is designed so poorly, it's ridiculous. I just want to fucking play multiplayer. And I gotta sit here and go through 14 menus and watch your cutscene. No one cares. No one cares about your bullshit. You're terrible. It's fucking awful game design. Modern game design is atrocious, man. Look at this. Where the fuck is it? Here it is. Multiplayer. Finally, I found it. Alright. So, Call of Duty is set up now. I wanted to do that and get that set up before we started here. Like a Dragon had an update today. It said that they patched and they fixed a whole bunch of stuff, but I don't know specifically what it is that they fixed. It doesn't actually say, like, in the update that they posted. I guess there was a lot of bugs and stuff they fixed. And I wonder what they fixed because, for example, my wife yesterday beat Dondoko Island, which is the sim mode which we're trying to unlock together here this week so that my wife and I could do co-op in it later this week on Valentine's Day. We want to do our first ever co-op gameplay stream. But when she was doing Dondoko Island, there was this weird glitch where if you built a resort building where your guests stay on one of the side areas of the island, the guests would never cross the bridge to the main island. So she had all these businesses, restaurants, and all these activities to do for the guests, and the guests would literally come out of the house and just walk back and forth in front of the house and never leave. They would never go do this stuff. Like, what the fuck is wrong? Why won't they go do that? It didn't make any sense. So then she had to clear off the rest of the the island where the guests were staying and build stuff there, and then they went there. So it must have been a bug. So I actually wonder if they fixed it. Anyway. So, yeah, Like a Dragon has updates today. We'll see what those are when we boot that sucker up. But I'm excited. I think this is going to be a nice, relaxing day. That's the whole goal today, is just to relax. This is not ultra serious. I told you, it's just not serious, okay? It's not serious business today. Today we're just relaxing. We're having a good time. And actually, I have 2 other football jerseys that I'm going to be changing into at various parts of the day. This is my first one. And for those who are wondering, you ever wonder where these came from? I've explained this story before, but I'll tell you again. They actually say Dark Side on the back. See that? No, not Dork Side, Dark Side. So you might say, well, where do these jerseys come from? And, why am I wearing them, etc.? Well, here's why. When I was younger, much younger, okay? And I used to travel and go to Street Fighter tournaments, okay? People knew who I was online, but they didn't know who I was in person. Because back then, there was no video sharing or anything, so all you did was post online, so no one knew what you looked like. So I bought 3 NFL replica jerseys. These are official. Look, they're officially licensed by the NFL, okay? And the thing is, I didn't care about the teams. I wasn't into football, and I wasn't following it when I was a kid. I just wanted to have jerseys that I could, wear to tournaments so people would know who I was. So I got 3. I got this one, which is supposed to be LA Raiders, but I guess they weren't LA Raiders back then. Weren't they Oakland Raiders back then or something like that? I don't even remember. But, so it's a Raiders jersey, but it doesn't say Raiders. It's just their colors. And then I have one that's the opposite. Instead of, gray and black, it's, white and black. So it's a white jersey with black letters. And then I have a one that was a Panthers jersey, but the Panthers logos are blocked out. So basically they're jerseys without the official team on them, but they say Dark Side on the back. So when I first started traveling to go to Street Fighter tournaments, I actually wore these jerseys in the tournament so people would know who I was, because it says Dark Side on the back, so you can't really confuse who I am, right? So I probably wore these for a year. And then basically I was like, well, now everyone knows who I am, so I don't need to wear them anymore. So I stopped wearing them, and I never wore them again. Literally, I stopped wearing them entirely. These hung in my closet from the early 2000s until the early days of me being a YouTuber. And you can actually go back and watch some of my earlier videos as a YouTuber. I actually wore these on and off as well. And then I stopped wearing them again. And they sat in my closet for another 10 years. And then last year, when we were planning this event, I was like, hey, I could actually wear these for this event. It makes sense for me to finally wear them because they're, official NFL jerseys or whatever. And so I wore them. I did this last year when we did our big Super Bowl bash event last year. So finally, they kind of have a use. And if you guys like this event, we could do this annually. This is actually the 2nd year in a row I'm doing a Super Bowl themed event the day before the actual game. So we'll see what you think. If you like it and you like the randomness of it, I like the randomness of it. I like that we don't have a set schedule. We don't need to do anything particular besides maybe simulate the NFL match. That's about all. It's a big deal. It's not having so much of an agenda that we have to adhere to. I like the more relaxed atmosphere, especially once I start drinking. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to care so much about the schedule. You know what I mean? So within a few minutes here, I'll do a poll, and you guys can start voting on what you want to see first. I don't mind. You want to do Like a Dragon and unlock the NFL player? Let's do that. You want to do some random online? Let's do that. You want to chill in Pal World? Let's do that. We'll have the poll in a few minutes here, and then we'll see what you guys want to do first, okay? By the way, I guess I didn't update the schedule. Not that it matters, because today it's just the Super Bowl event, so let's just update the schedule now. Here we go. There you go. Updated. Cool. Okay, so excellent. Let's get to our regular schedule podcast now, shall we? What I'd like to do is quickly review what we did yesterday on the streams and let you know the schedule for the rest of the week. We actually have some game news today that I didn't get to talk about yesterday because yesterday was such a long stream, regardless, talking about things like the Phil's Day Off segment. So I'd like to talk about some game news today. And then we'll get into whatever you want to do, Q&A or whatever to end the show. Now, the only one thing I will say before we begin, all right? As you all know, this last month has been very, very rough. And what I mean by that is, financially behind the scenes, I've done absolutely nothing different or wrong. In fact, my views have been up, my engagement has been up, and my overall watch hours have been up on YouTube this last month. I got more attention on my content in January than I did in December. And I lost a ton of money. Why? Because trolls came in and basically gave out so many fake memberships that people who normally would have become a member or gifted memberships didn't do it. They already had it for free. And because of that, I lost a ton of revenue, okay? This sucks because when I get paid in about a week and a half by YouTube, I'm going to be down over $1,000 this month that normally I would make. And this might continue, okay? If you know, people don't become members or renew memberships because they're getting them for free, this is going to significantly hurt my business, okay? Today would be a great day if you like the content and you like the whole fun vibe of the event that's very different than what I usually do. Please support today's stream. How? Anything is appreciated. It doesn't matter if you do a super chat, if you do a membership or whatever it may be, anything would help. But today particularly, if you wanted to help me in the short term, tipping would be great because tips I get right away and I could start putting towards bills right at the end of this month as they come in. It would help with the reduced income that I'm going to get from YouTube, okay? So please consider it. Thank you in advance, obviously, to anyone who supports my streams anyway, but today particularly would be a great day for that. Now, here's the thing. Today, we are not going to be doing goals. Why? Because I'm already going to be in attire today. I'm already going to be wearing jerseys. I'm already going to have the helmet on and off all day. So, no, we're not going to do hats, and we're not going to be doing vests over jerseys and things like that. That'd be pretty stupid. Today, we're just rolling with, you know, the fun stuff that I'm already doing, okay? Also, no, I don't have any plans like, oh, if someone tips $100, Phil will take a shot. No. My idea is, I don't have any liquor in here yet, but once the podcast ends, I'm going to go grab some. And the whole idea is, I'll be drinking kind of all day. I'll be having the lighter drinks. Like I said, I have that Long Island iced tea and the rum punch and stuff like that. I'll be having lighter drinks, or the beer. I'll probably start with a beer. I'll be drinking those all day long, and I'll probably have liquor in here. Like I'll have tequila in here if something special happens or whatever, and then I'll take a shot. But no, I'm not going to be doing, you know, contribute a certain amount, and then I take a shot or something like that. We're not doing that. And also, we're not doing some kind of crazy fundraiser goal. Let's hit this amount. We're not doing that, okay? I'm grateful for anything, any support that I get, all right? So thank you in advance, because, again, everyone says that when you do those gimmicky things, that's the wrong thing to do, and, you know, so I'll just let it roll, and we'll just have a good time today, right? Same reason that we didn't have a reason to qualify to have this event. We stopped doing that. We're just going to have these fun events from time to time, okay? Like I said, I think the next one will be my birthday celebration in early April. We'll figure out what we want to do for that one, right? We'll start planning that soon, okay? So there you go. Cool. So that's what we're doing today. So now let's get to yesterday. What did we do yesterday and how did it go? Well, yesterday it was the continuation of Baldur's Gate 3. Once again, I had a great time on stream with all of you. Great progress in Act 2. I'm feeling like now we're finally coming to the end of Act 2. We just pretty much explored the majority of the map of Act 2. And people have said, yeah, at this point, you've now pretty much done everything meaningful on the overworld. So it's time to go to this mausoleum. So we went to the mausoleum, and the mausoleum ended up turning into this Trials of Shar or Gauntlet of Shar or something like that. And people are actually saying the Gauntlet of Shar is very lengthy and can be considered pretty annoying. I'm like, oh, that's just great. I'm glad that we're about to be annoyed, right, by this. But apparently once you get through that, then it's just kind of like the big finale of Act 2, and that's it, and then you go to Act 3. So it's possible. You know, at the end of this week, maybe next week, we might actually beat Act 2 and actually get to the third and final act of Baldur's Gate 3, which would be interesting, okay? But I had a good time with it, as usual. I actually really liked Act 2. I would say as soon as we left Moonrise Tower and started exploring the map and finding all this fun stuff in the environment, that's when I really started to have a lot of fun with it. And at this point, I'm starting to feel really comfortable with combat. Like, I switched from Lae'zel back to Karlach, and even though Karlach I feel isn't as good as Lae'zel, I'm still kind of like in the swing of things of how to do it, and I'm having a good time with it. I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. You know, all my characters are getting more powerful now, and I'm, you know, when you feel more comfortable in your skin, as they say, playing a game like this, then it becomes more of a natural thing. Instead of it, every time I play it, it's not a chore anymore, and that's a good thing. So that was fun. Then last night we played Tekken 8. And I had a lot of fun with Tekken 8 last night. Not to say that I was dominating in matches. I really wasn't. A lot of the matches were very close because I'm at a rank now with King, or I'm getting ranked up with King, to the point where now people kind of know their stuff with the characters they're using. And they have found these strategies that, in this case, you need to have character knowledge in order to stop them. Like, for example, I fought a Lee last night. And Lee is a tricky character who has a lot of different kick moves that kind of stuff you, and or there are openings, but you need to know where those openings are, or else he can easily do one combo and immediately go into another move or another combo, and you'll never really get out of it. It'll be just endless hit string. You're like, oh my god, this is so annoying. So I don't know that because I don't have the character knowledge to beat him, and there's a lot of characters like that. Lars, too. Lars is another one where he seems to have a lot of safe combos and strings, and again, if you don't know the interrupts or the punishes, you get screwed. So that's the level I've been at now with all my characters, with June, Paul, and King. I'm getting to the level where now I need to really start learning and absorbing character knowledge if I'm going to get better at the game. But I had some great matches, you know, really close ones. I love that King has the powerful throws that I'm implementing. You know, every match pretty much I'm grabbing a few awesome powerful throws. I even got the rolling death cradle last night. For those who don't know, it is the 60% damage chain throw with King. Now, it's very easy to escape, but this person didn't escape it. And I actually got it. I was like, no, wow, first time ever in an online match. I wonder if I could ever land it again, because it's that hard to land, because people just mash buttons and get out of it. So, good stuff last night in Tekken. I had a great time with all the streams yesterday. Obviously, you know what we're doing today. Tomorrow, it's going to be React Day. So, DSP versus the Internet over on DSP Reacts on the morning, and then, well, I should say in the afternoon. And then in the evening, More Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, with the goal being to advance further into Chapter 5 and hopefully get to the point where we're getting through the story of Chapter 5. Because when Chapter 6 starts, that's when you unlock Dondoko Island, and that's what I want to do co-op with my wife later this week. Okay? Monday, we're going to do a major stream of Tekken 8. And here's the thing. I want to pick a new character this time. But I don't know who. I've got all these characters in mind. You know, Yoshimitsu, Jack 8, Kuma, just to name a few, who are kind of on my mind of characters I would want to check out. And I still haven't made my decision, so I'd love your feedback today. If you have ideas of maybe who I should check out in Tekken 8 on Monday, I'd be all ears to hear. Right now, people are always saying, Alisa, Lily, Huarang, Fang. So many characters being suggested, right? Kuma. Well, let's get all the feedback. Nina, let's get all this feedback today. And once I get all the feedback, I'll think about it, because what I'll likely do is I will study up. I will study up on that character Sunday night by watching videos. And then on Monday, we will do that major stream. And the way I'm going to handle it, all right, is it's going to be going into training mode for a little bit and practicing, because obviously just watching videos doesn't do it. And then going online for the first time ever, okay? Now, by the way, guys, yes, today there's going to be lots of fake memberships gifted to the channel. Here's how you stop the spam. All you do when you see it pop up, it says, oh, someone's gifting a member bomb of bullshit. You click on it, and it should either say remove or like hide on the channel or block. Whatever those are, click that option, they're gone. And your chat is no longer spammed. Like right now, I have 0 spam in chat. I clicked on it immediately. Boom, gone. I don't even see anything. It's not intrusive anymore to my chat. So if these idiots do it today, just click on it as it happens. Click block or remove. Done. And you just move on and don't have to worry about these idiots. Give them absolutely no attention, because they don't deserve any. And they don't deserve to derail anyone's stream or chat or nothing like that. We all should just have a good time together and ignore them. Okay? So there you go. Yes, Pizza Box Gaming said I just confirmed it works. I did it myself. Perfect. Okay, excellent. Okay, so continuing on, that's Monday's main stream. All right, and that's Monday's main stream. And then Monday night will be Pal World. We'll actually do a chill stream of Pal World on Monday night, continuing on. Now, if we do Pal World today, it'll obviously be more Pal World, which would be cool because we haven't done 2 streams of Pal World in ages. But every time I play it, I love the game. It's chill, interactive, fun, lots of open world exploration. And you guys always help me to understand the mechanics and everything, so that'll be fun. Tuesday, Baldur's Gate 3 will return as the daytime stream, and Tuesday night will be more Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth with the hopes of getting to Chapter 6 by that night, so we can have Dondoko Island unlocked. And then Wednesday, more Baldur's Gate, and Wednesday night, my first ever co-op gameplay stream with my wife, Kat. We'll be here together with our Dondoko Island co-op stream. And when you say, well, I don't understand, what does that mean? She's going to be here with me, and we're going to be building the island together, okay? She knows the mechanics because she's already done it. So she's going to help to instruct me on how everything works so that we can run around and do it and build it at a rapid pace. That way I'm not wasting time learning the mechanics. She could just tell me how to do them. And we already have some ideas of the kind of island that we want to do. We want to do a pop-style island because pop culture in this game is arcades and fun stuff like that. And we think that would be really cool to build an island that's like pop culture themed. So that's what we'll be going for with our island. You know, not to say that it's going to be all pop culture themed, because some of the guests want other things, so you might build 1 or 2 things of other styles to just entice each guest. But for the most part, that's what we want to go with. Okay? So that will be the streaming week. I hope that sounds fun to all of you. A good variety of stuff, right? Good progress in everything that we're doing. And I think it'll be a grand old time. All right? Good stuff. Now, there is other stuff coming up this month, but really, as you all know, the big thing coming this month is at the end of the month, it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's the one thing everyone's building to. Is there filler stuff in the meantime? There is, but if we take time away from doing the playthroughs we're doing, we're not going to make as much progress. For example, if we stop playing Baldur's Gate 3 as much, you know, we're going to drop the ball with that. I'd like to get into Act 3 and maybe even start a big chunk of Act 3 before Final Fantasy VII comes out, because when it does, that's going to be the highlighted playthrough for me. You know, I hate to say it, Baldur's Gate 3 will absolutely take a backseat to Final Fantasy VII. I know I'm going to like Rebirth a ton, and everyone's going to want to see it more. So that's going to be the focus at that point. So I want to get as far as I can in Baldur's Gate before that, right? As for Like a Dragon, it's going to continue to be the late stream. And so we'll keep going with that. And the thing is, once Dondoko Island's unlocked, you've basically unlocked all the major stuff in the game. So now there's no rush through it anymore. What we can do then is take more of a relaxed attitude. We can go back and do all the side content in the open world that we haven't done yet. We can focus on those silly, quirky missions and stuff like that. But the point is, we need to get Dondoko unlocked as soon as possible so my wife and I can start doing co-op streams of it. Not that we're going to do it all the time, probably at least once a week. We want to see how it goes. If it's well received and people enjoy us doing co-op together with that, then we'll do it at least once a week, maybe more than once a week if people like it that much, because Dondoko Island takes anywhere from 10 to 15 hours to beat, and when you beat it, you get tons of great rewards. You get crazy amount of in-game currency. You unlock a special ability and a bunch of items and things, so it's worth doing for sure, and it's one of the major ways people get money in the game to continue on with the game. So it's worth doing, but if we only do it once a week, it could potentially take us a month to 2 months to beat, in which case it's not really going to help that much if I'm getting the rewards so slowly from it. So we might do more than one stream a week. It depends. Again, it really depends on how well received it is with you guys. Okay, if you guys like it and you want to see the co-op maybe twice a week, we'd be willing to do that. But we want to see. If it's something that people don't like as much, then we'll maybe do it once a week and that's it. Okay? Okay, so that is the deal. That's the plan for what's going on. Now, the other new thing coming up is 1 week from tomorrow is going to be our next Retro React stream event over on DSP Throwback. DSP Throwback is my channel that was rebranded last month, that now we have retro playthroughs going up on there every single day, an alternation between Final Fantasy 13 and Red Dead Redemption 1, my original runs from over 10 years ago. Newly remastered with better visuals, longer parts, proper titles, thumbnails, etc. Well, I did a couple retro react streams over there where I did live commentary over my old gameplay, and it's a hit. People love it. They show up to the streams, they support it, they watch the videos after the fact, so it's kind of a shoo-in that I continue this content. Every other week I'm going to do one of these streams. So next weekend will be the next one. And the options will be as follows. Continuing on with Red Dead Redemption 1, continuing on with Dark Souls 1, Heavy Rain, the original run from 2010, or Bully, the original run from 2013. And the interesting thing about Bully, this was the first playthrough. I started it with a camera pointed at the TV, but mid playthrough I adopted direct capture, and I started direct capturing and live streaming. So right in the middle of the playthrough, you see the style change, okay? So, there you go. I'm very excited to see what you guys vote for next up. I think that'll be a really fun one. No matter what it is that you vote for, okay? So that you guys say, well, what's going on with that? Well, that poll will go live over the weekend, probably like Sunday night, Monday. I'll make that poll visible over on DSP Throwback on the community tab, and then you guys can start to vote on that and determine what you want to see next, okay? So that's coming. So lots of exciting stuff coming. And I hope that if you guys are enjoying the content on the Throwback channel, please consider supporting it in some way. Right now, I'm not exaggerating. I make about $1 a day on ads, $1. And when I stream, the streams do well. But I'm only streaming every other week. I don't want to flood that channel with too many streams and too much content. Plus, when I stream there, it takes away from my content here. So I get backlogged on the playthroughs here. So please consider heading over there. And if you like the content, maybe do a super thanks on a video. Hey, if you have YouTube Premium and you watch those videos, I get credit for the ads. Consider that. You could always leave a tip over there. There's a description in every video. And I do have an update. Ladies and gentlemen, it took 30 days. But after 30 days of me disputing copyright claims on those videos, Final Fantasy XIII is officially my property. Meaning, Square Enix has no claim to those videos whatsoever. It took 30 days to clear it up, but they finally removed the claims on the videos. So now, any ad revenue or views on those videos, I get credit for. Alright? Which sucks, of course, because all the views came before the channel was even monetized. So, I know right now, all those views didn't count for me, but now they will. Alright? So, thank you in advance to anyone over there who watches anything, and I definitely appreciate it. Alright? Thank you. Cool. Alright. So that's that. I think we covered everything that I wanted to talk about. I would like to do a little bit of game news today. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for DSP news. All right, here we go. Got quite a variety of stuff to talk about today. Okay? So, first of all, I don't know if you guys heard about this. Okay? But Disney, yes, the company Disney, Mickey Mouse, but also owning Marvel, Star Wars, and all those properties now, has struck a deal with Epic Games. There is now going to be a major collaborative effort between Epic Games and Disney to make a series of games in the Fortnite universe. Now, it's unclear if these are just going to be takes on Fortnite, or if they're going to take the team that made the Fortnite games and make new games. It's just not clear. It hasn't really been fully explained yet. All right? But listen to this. Disney has invested $1.5 billion. $1.5 billion into Epic Games for Epic Games to make Disney games. Holy shit, right? That's insane. Have you ever heard of a $1.5 billion video game collaboration before? I haven't. This is basically the biggest dollar event like ever in history. Okay? They got this very weird trailer where essentially they show Star Wars characters, Marvel characters, Avatar, and other shit, and it all looks like it's Fortnite characters, right? Like they look like Fortnite style, but that's all it says. What's weird about this is, doesn't this already exist? You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't they already license all those IPs to be in Fortnite? So, what is this really then? And the answer is nobody knows. Like, right now, the true extent of what this project will be is unknown. It's just very confusing. Everyone's scratching their heads about it. Like, what exactly will this be? It almost sounds like Epic they know that Fortnite is their cash cow, but now they kind of want to diversify and do stuff other than just pure Fortnite, and this is their way to do it. But what it'll be, no one really knows, right? Like, the other thing that I can think about from back in the day, do you guys remember Disney Infinity and the flop that was? Where basically Disney tried to make their own version of Skylanders with those little figurine tie-ins, and it sold for like 6 months and flopped, and no one wanted it, so they just canceled it all, and all those figures became completely worthless. So people invested thousands of dollars in this, and then it was trash, and all the stores had to liquidate the inventory and everything, right? So I just don't know what exactly this will be. It's very confusing. I'd like to follow it and find out more about it. You know, I like Disney stuff. I'm a fan of Marvel. I'm a fan of Star Wars. But it's just really confusing because everyone's just kind of scratching their heads about it, not really knowing what it is. As of yet, this was just kind of the initial announcement. Okay? Okay, so that's story number 1. Story number 2 is that Ed, the next DLC character for Street Fighter 6, has officially been announced. There's a trailer about him online. I haven't seen it yet, but we're going to watch it tomorrow during my React show. Someone submitted it, so it's a lock. We're going to watch it together, and I'll react to it then. But he officially unlocks on February 27th, okay? So anyone interested? Now, am I interested? Yes and no. Obviously, it's Street Fighter 6. Obviously, it's new content for the game. But right now, I'm into Tekken. You know, I've been playing Tekken for 2 weeks. I like Tekken 8 a lot. I'm learning and getting better at it. And I feel like I kind of want to focus on that. I don't want to diversify my efforts between 2 separate fighting game franchises. Already, I can tell you, only playing Tekken 8 twice a week, I'm really not playing it nearly enough to learn that much. It's remarkable I'm doing as well as I am, only playing it twice a week. You know what I mean? So, I'm not sure going back to Street Fighter 6 at this point would make sense. What we'll do is we'll watch the trailer tomorrow together. We'll see what I think. We'll talk about it probably by the end of the month if you guys want to see me go back to it or not. I don't know. It's funny because people are saying Ed plays nothing in Street Fighter 6 like he did in 5. Like, they've retooled the character to be completely new. So then why not just add a completely new character instead of saying he's Ed, right? Like, I don't recall a single person who's like, man, Ed is such an amazing character design for Street Fighter 5 and we absolutely need him back. Like, that didn't happen. No one cared about Ed. So no one needed him back in Street Fighter 6. So why they added him as the DLC character to begin with is kind of head-scratching. And now the way the way they're doing this, they redesigned him. He's a new character. Okay, then just make a new character. That's, start from scratch rather than being stupid about it and bringing back Ed. It's very confusing the way they did it. But anyway, we'll look more into that over the course of the month. Okay, we got another story going on. I don't know if you guys heard about this one. So, as we all know, Microsoft has completed their acquisition of Activision Blizzard. And then last week or two, was it 2 weeks ago? It was announced they were cutting 1,900 jobs from Activision Blizzard, including the entire Toys for Bob studio is apparently being cut. Now, for those who don't know Toys for Bob, this was the same company that made the Spyro Trilogy remakes, the Crash Bandicoot Reboot Remake Trilogy, and then Crash Bandicoot 4. They did an amazing job. And after doing all those games just sadly didn't make as much money as Activision Blizzard is used to making. So they literally told that company, well, now you just have to make Call of Duty content instead. And reportedly, those developers were crushed. They were like, no, we're creative. We want to make cool games. And they were told, no. All you're going to do now is pump out content for Call of Duty kind of behind the scenes from now on. So they did for many years. And now they just closed the whole studio. The whole California studio has been closed. 86 employees laid off. Everyone's done. So with all this going on, the FTC, who was one of the regulatory bodies in the United States, the Federal Trade Commission, they were very against Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. They felt like it was going to create a monopoly situation. Spoiler alert, it didn't. But they were so against it, right? And now what's happened is, with these layoffs, these mass layoffs that have happened, the FTC is now saying they're going to launch an investigation. They filed to launch an investigation into this, because during the whole process of Microsoft buying out Activision Blizzard, one of the big promises that they had to these regulatory bodies was, we're not going to affect what they're doing over there. We're going to allow them to continue to operate and make games and do what they're doing. We're not going to come in and do sweeping changes, right? Immediately they buy them out, and within a few months, they're sweeping changes. So they basically lied under oath during all of their proceedings and everything, where they said nothing was going to change. They immediately changed everything by laying so many people off, right? So the FTC is now going to investigate into this, and Microsoft already responded, okay? And they're basically saying, Activision was already planning on eliminating a significant number of jobs while still operating as an independent company. The recent announcement thus cannot be attributed fully to the merger. So, essentially, this thing's never going to end, right? It just seems like this entire thing is going to keep going on and on. Like, so they bought them out, but then they laid people off, which is awful. Now they're getting investigated again. What's the next step here, right? Like, I don't know how you can... Well, first of all, it's kind of hard to justify that you just cut the jobs of 1,900 people. For what reason? You know what I mean? Like, that's a ton of people. This wasn't, oh, there was one game that got canceled and we laid off the people making the game. No, they literally closed entire wings of their studios, right? Like, that's pretty insane. So, if these layoffs were already planned, they actually are going to have to legally justify that. They're going to have to show documentation and evidence that these layoffs were already going to happen before the merger went through, or else they did lie during that proceeding, and they could be in massive trouble. So I'm curious what's going to happen, how this is going to get spun, or what's going to result from this, if anything. I hate to say it, though, the FTC has been very frivolous this whole time. They really didn't have a case against Microsoft when they were trying to buy Activision Blizzard. They didn't, yet they still tried to hold it up for a long time. So one has to wonder, is this just another annoying thing they're doing to try to make more noise and annoy Microsoft? I don't know. I don't know if anything will actually come of it or not, quite frankly. I guess we'll have to see moving forward, like what are the legal, ins and outs of this situation. Personally, my take is this simple, all right? You buy a company and then you immediately lay off an insane amount of workers. That's just fucking evil, right? Just because a company gets bought out doesn't now mean that people should lose their livelihood because you decide to redesign it, reorganize it. This has happened to countless companies. This is why I lost my job at the helicopter company. When I started working at that helicopter company, they had just been bought out by a company called Sikorsky Aircraft. And at first, they allowed our company, Helicopter Support, to independently work as we already had for years. Then within 3-4 years of me working there, they came in with giant swooping changes. New people in charge were Sikorsky people, not the people who worked at the company previously. They redesigned the whole company to be different. And the next thing you know, cutting jobs. So does it really benefit for any company to really be bought out by a bigger company? Or is it always going to result in downgrading, downscaling, and people losing their livelihood? Doesn't sound very great, does it? Certainly doesn't sound like the American way or the American dream where people bust their ass and get rewarded for hard work. In this case, it seems like you're just expendable no matter what. So, it's pretty sad. And I'm going to keep following that story and see what happens, okay? Here's an interesting one. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot has come out and listened to this. He has defended the $70 price tag on upcoming new game release Skull and Bones. Now, for those who don't know, or don't, maybe you forgot, I wouldn't blame you. Skull and Bones is a pirate game where you're a pirate on a ship and you do all kinds of naval combat and stuff like that. But also you go to like towns and you do pirate stuff in town. It's like a pirate sim game. This game has been in development since the same time that Sea of Thieves was in development. Because I remember a particular E3 when both were shown off. Like, one was shown off during the Microsoft event and one was shown off during the Ubisoft event. And I remember commenting, wow, was it Year of the Pirates? Well, no, because Sea of Thieves actually came out and at this point is an old-ass game, and Skull and Bones never did. Okay? It's coming out now, like 7-8 years later, it's finally coming out. Now, the game has been through developmental hell. Apparently, it was completely redesigned from the ground up multiple times. And reportedly, the game was going to be scrapped, except Ubisoft, listen to this, Ubisoft took governmental grants. I don't know what country it was. It might have been Singapore, or it might have been another country like that. They actually took governmental grants in the country where the dev team was working from to make the game. So if they never released the game, the government could actually sue them for fraud. Okay? They took the money, now they gotta make the game even if it's shitty. So, this game it is Singapore, I got it right? Okay, it was Singapore apparently. So, the game has to come out. Alright? It has to. And Yves Guillemot was being interviewed and asked, why is this game $70 when most people who've seen it say the game looks like it's a bare bones game that's not even done? And he said, no. This is actually a quadruple A game. This isn't a triple A game like you would normally buy. This is literally a quadruple A game. It's like the most best developed game you'll ever see. Therefore, it justifies the $70 price tag. What's it going to take for Yves Guillemot to be ousted from CEO of Ubisoft? Does he have to, like, commit mass murder or something? Right? Does he have to come out in, like, blackface and doing, like, swastikas all over his body, goose-stepping or something? I really want to know. Because this guy has done every possible fucking thing wrong with his company over the last decade, yet he's still CEO. Like, no one fucking ever holds this guy accountable for anything he does. There's reports of massive, awful things he's done in the company, ignoring internal cultural problems, acting like they don't exist, being reported that his head-ups in the company were doing awful things and he just ignored it, running the company into the ground with terrible business decision after terrible business decision. How the fuck is this guy still in charge? Everyone who's looked at Skull and Bones says this game looks like shit. He says, oh no, it's a quadruple A game. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. You know? I'm at a loss. If you can't tell, I don't like him. I think the guy's a jackass. I think he's really fucked stuff up for his company. I think there's tons of workers there. Like, this goes back over a decade ago. Do you remember his decision to make Rayman Legends a Wii U exclusive? That was his decision. He decided that Rayman Legends should be Wii U exclusive. Rayman Legends was finished, okay, and was ready to be released, and then what happened was the Wii U flopped. And when the Wii U flopped, then he decides with a knee-jerk reaction, oh, we're not going to release the game. We have to now have it be ported to be cross-platform. The game developers who made the game were so upset because they put so much blood, sweat, tears, and effort into the game. They went outside their studio and were protesting in the street with signs. Free Rayman. Release Rayman now. The game's ready to be sold. Why is it delayed? The CEO doesn't know what he's doing. That was over a decade ago at the launch of the Wii U. And this guy's still in charge, still making these boneheaded fucking decisions. Right? I don't get it. Does this guy have dirt on people or something so they can't touch him because he's going to blackmail them or something? I'm lost how he's still CEO of Ubisoft. I really am. Anyway, there you go. Do you really think Skull and Bones will be a quad A game? The first ever quad A game to justify a $70 price tag? And again, these guys are a fucking idiot. Like, no one's going to buy that game for $70 besides, you know, fanboys, journalists. It's not going to be a seller. The game looks like shit. Everyone knows it just by looking at it for 5 seconds, right? Okay, I have 2 more news stories. They kind of go hand in hand, but not really, but let's do them. The first news story is, this is actually supposedly true based on a statement that publisher Take-Two said. Alright? Supposedly. The Xbox Series X and X has been outsold 2-to-1 by the PlayStation 5 as of the end of 2023. I'll be honest with you, I would believe that. I think that's sad because, as I've told you guys, the Xbox and PlayStation 5 are basically equivalent consoles this console gen. They just are. They play games almost identically. They have incredibly similar features, right? Really, it's a choice of any console exclusives, like which console do you want to play them on? Do you want to take advantage of a Game Pass subscription service? And which controller do you like better? You know, personally, I prefer the Xbox controller. I find this way more comfortable in my hand. I like that the thumbsticks are different positions. I like the triggers better. I don't care about the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers of the PS5 controller. In fact, I find it more annoying than anything else. I love this controller, and therefore, I just find myself playing these games on Xbox usually more often than PlayStation. Okay? But that's really the only reason. Like, everything else looks the same, but for some reason, the Xbox refuses to sell in a lot of markets. For example, for those who may not realize this, because maybe you are American like me, or maybe you live in the UK, outside of our territories, the Xbox basically doesn't sell. It just sits on the shelf. In Japan, almost no one buys the Xbox ever. To them, there's one console, PlayStation, and then, of course, the Switch. But that, and to them, Xbox, you know, they just don't care about the Xbox at all. It's like definitely the massive third place in those countries. It just refuses to catch on. I think what it is we're in a unique situation. If you're American, Xbox 360 was a ginormous hit. Xbox 360 outsold PS3, but in droves at first. It wasn't until the very end of that console generation that PlayStation caught up with them. So everyone thinks in their heads, you know, Xbox is prominent. Really, I think we really do massively underestimate the botch that was the launch of the Xbox One and the real fuck up job that Don Matrick did when he was head of Xbox Game Studios. Like, by launching that console with the Kinect, saying it was going to be digital only, and then he went back on that because he's a fucking jackass, making the console essentially a cable box instead of just a game console, making it look like a cable box with its design, one of the most worst game console designs in history, right? I mean, the Xbox One took so many steps back from what the predecessor was that they lost all of their market share. People just didn't want that console, you know? Take a look at games like Killer Instinct. That was a game that at the launch of Xbox One was an Xbox One exclusive, correct? And the truth of the matter is that game was good, but no one bought it because no one bought an Xbox. So that game, which would have been a hit if it was cross-platform, or maybe like a blockbuster seller if it was on PS5, a PS5 exclusive even, ended up basically fading into obscurity. To this day, it has like a hardcore fan base, but that's a shame. Anything that was like Xbox exclusive ended up flopping because the Xbox just wasn't prominent that console gen. Now again, the problem is first impressions are everything. This console gen, I feel the Xbox Series X is just as good as the PS5. I have both. I've played games on both. They play fine on both. So then what gives? Why is PS5 outselling? Because everyone had a PS4. It was undoubted that last console gen, PS4 was the dominant console and the better one. So everyone bought PS4, so this console gen, everyone just wants PS5. It rolls right into it. And so you've got this installed base of people who want it. And then, of course, with COVID, which no one foresaw coming, we had this false scarcity where people could not get the consoles. And because they couldn't get them, now people wanted them even more. So people who maybe wouldn't have even really cared that much about getting a PS5, now the desire, it was like a luxury item, a collector's item. You were special if you could get a PS5, right? In reality, I don't think that again, even the exclusives, like people argue, oh, the PS5 exclusives versus the Xbox exclusives. I don't even think it's been that big of a deal, just being honest. I mean, we got a big one coming up with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, right? You had the God of War games, okay? But for the most part, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Same thing with Xbox. Oh, Halo Infinite and stuff like that. That's not a big deal either. I don't think the exclusives have really been giant deals. It's just the mentality of everyone of the consumer is we want PS5 because PS4 was the best one, so now we want the next one, right? And it's sad because, I mean, I think like Xbox, again, they really did try to come back from the flop job that was Xbox One. They tried to learn from those mistakes, and it doesn't really matter that they did. No one really cares. That's what's sad. However, I will say this, because here's the final story for today, okay? If you guys remember last week, right here on this show, I was telling you all, excuse me, about how there were rumors, strong rumors in the gaming community and journalists and social media, and the rumors were that Xbox was now going to port all of their exclusive games to other consoles, like notably Hi-Fi Rush, and then the rumors spread to Starfield and other games like that. And everyone was making these articles. Xbox is ending. No more Xbox console. They're just going to be third party like Sega. It was ridiculous. People had Xbox logo on fire, right? Nuclear bombs exploding. Xbox is ending. Xbox, right? And when all this was going on, I came right here on this very show and I said to all of you, bullshit. I said, a company like Xbox doesn't buy Activision Blizzard to then get out of the console game. A company like Microsoft, all right, is not just going to throw in the towel. Now, I agree with the fact that maybe if you take those exclusives like Hi-Fi Rush and a year later you port them to other consoles, you can make extra money. There may be some people on PlayStation who want to play Hi-Fi Rush. They don't have a PC, and this will be their opportunity to check out that game. Even Starfield, I'll agree. Starfield, port that to freaking PlayStation. You may get some extra players on there, okay? I don't see the problem with that. But there absolutely was never, ever any evidence whatsoever that essentially Xbox was going to get out of the console game. There was no rumor, there was no evidence that that was going to happen. No one said it, no facts, but someone just made it up. And everyone on the internet ran with it because people are drama queens who want clickbait views on their articles and their content. People got hundreds of thousands to millions of views on videos about this topic, and it had zero substantiation whatsoever. It actually blew out of proportion so far that Phil Spencer, the CEO of Xbox Gaming, came out and said, next week I'm going to do an official announcement to set the record straight about all of this. But what's funny is the people who claimed that they had sources saying this now have all backpedaled. In the last couple of days, they said, well, now that we looked at it closely, I guess those sources weren't really real, so sorry about that. It's like, wait, what? So literally, you made it up for clickbait. And everyone ran with it, and everyone had this big drama week for literally no fucking reason, and there was no substantiation for it. So everyone gets clickbait. Everyone makes ad revenue. Everyone gets all this fucking, everyone's watching this stuff. It's all bullshit. And what did I say on this show last week? I refuse to entertain the subject. If we hear this from Microsoft, fine. Then we'll talk about it and we'll entertain the subject. This is rumor mongering. This is the worst kind of journalism because it's only because there's nothing else going on. It's a slow news week. So let's make shit up to get clickbait. And the problem is, this is supposed to be our news. We're not talking, a YouTuber did it. Of course YouTubers did. But IGN covered it. Kotaku covered it. Like, everyone covered it as if it was a real news story when there was zero substantiation of any fact to back up what these people were saying or speculating. So now, here we are, and we're about to see what happens next week when Phil Spencer actually comes out. Here's my prediction. They're going to basically say games will be timed exclusives. Games like Hi-Fi Rush or Starfield or others that were going to be made by Microsoft Studios. They'll likely come out on Xbox Series X, S, and PC simultaneously first for like a 6-month window. That'd be my guess. I think 6 months is a good window. It gives enough of a head start that you have incentive. If you want to play those games at launch, you got to buy an Xbox, right? And then after the 6 months, then they'll port them to other consoles like PlayStation or Switch, and now other people can enjoy them. But if you don't want to wait, you got to get the Xbox, right? I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that's a good business decision. I'm not some dumb Xbot who thinks that Xbox games should eternally be exclusive to Xbox. I think that's fucking stupid. So I think that's a great suggestion. I think that's a great business move. It is a little sad because obviously if Xbox were doing healthier, they would never port those games. They'd just be like, you just got to buy our console forever. But I think what it is they're seeing their initial flash of success, and then that's it, sales tapered off. Who the fuck is buying Starfield in 2024? Right? It's dead. It's a dead game. So now they need to get that market back elsewhere. And I think that's what's going to end up happening is they're going to try now to seek that market elsewhere after a set period of time. I bet that's going to be Phil Spencer's announcement. If I'm wrong, fine. That's my take on it. That's my prediction. I think that's a level-headed take. I think that would be a smart business move for them. And I don't think that would hurt them at all. I don't see how, if they're really 50% behind the sales of PlayStation, I don't see how that move or any move could hurt them at this point. They've got to do something, right? So, that's what I'm thinking. But do I expect that Phil Spencer's going to come out and say, oh yeah, we're throwing in the towel. Xbox Series S and X will be our final consoles, and from now on we're going to go full third party. We're pulling a Sega. No. This company is rolling in money. This company just made one of the biggest gaming acquisitions of all time with Activision Blizzard. They're now not going to scale back. What the fuck are you talking about? Doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway, that's my take. We'll see what happens next week. And I will cover it level-headed for you. I will not do the sky is falling, burning Xbox logo expose streams to waste your time, because literally anyone who did that in the last week wasted their viewers' time. I just want to emphasize that. And you can fucking clip me with this and share this all over the internet. If you did a story in the last week citing that Xbox was going full third party, you're a liar, you're disrespectful to your audience, and you're a clickbait content creator and or journalist who doesn't deserve the time of day from any viewers ever again. You are greedy, and you only did it for the attention with no substantiation whatsoever for what you were saying. Fuck you. There you go. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I wanted to talk about today, folks. So now, let's go ahead and do shout-outs and see where the stream takes us, shall we? So, we start off today with Speed Force Punch, who became a member this morning. Thank you to Speed Force Punch for that. David Rivera with our first super chat of the day. Excited for your marathon. Thank you. You're welcome, but you don't have to thank me before. He thanks me in advance. I hope you enjoy the events today. I think it's going to be a good day. In fact, we're now firmly into the afternoon. So like I said, once we... oh, you know what we should do? We should do the poll. Yeah, let's do the poll now. You want to do it now? Let's get the poll going. So right now, as I start shout-outs, I'm going to put a poll up in the chat for the people who are here. And you guys can vote on what you want to do first today. Okay? So let's get the options going. Which should we do first on stream? Oops, on stream today. Option 1, Tekken 8 multiplayer. Option 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. Option number 3, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Remember, trying to unlock the NFL outfit. That's the whole point. We're trying to unlock the NFL job. Or option number 4, Pal World. So you guys vote, and whatever you vote for will be the very first thing that we do on the stream. I don't mind. I'm down for any of those. You know, we're definitely doing Like a Dragon, for sure. And we're definitely doing the Super Bowl sim later in the show. Those are locks. Those are happening, okay? But everything else is on the table, and it's up to you what you want to see. So please vote, and let's see what people want to see, and I'm down for whatever. But I'm going to actually soon, right when this podcast ends, I'm going to go get my first drink of the day. I'm trying to think, maybe I should get a Long Island iced tea or something. Now, you know what? I'll drink one of those beers first from last year. Yes, I'm going to drink a year-old beer. I need to get them out of my fridge today. Okay, so there you go. Let's see here. So continuing on. Demon in the Corner, 2 months as a member. I think, are you shouting out, what's his name? Is that what that is? King Cobra? See, I don't know. I don't know anything about this different stuff. Okay, I don't know anything about, these different content creators and stuff. So I don't know what KCJFS stands for. Is that King Cobra or whatever? Is that what that is? I don't know. But he's shouting him out. So. He says he broke a dry spell. I don't know what that means. I have no idea. Okay. Let's head over here. Let's see here. Someone is claiming that they tried to get unbanned for months and didn't get unbanned. I don't know who you are. Did you email my email, darksidefil@hotmail.com? Did you explain your situation? Did you send me the link, the URL to your channel? I don't know anything about this. So not knowing anything about this, I can't comment on it. But tons of people have been unlocked or unbanned from this channel. So I don't know why you can't get unbanned unless, you know, there's a reason. I don't know. Okay? All right. Cool. First contribution of the day, tips-wise, is a $50 tip from 1 Minute Man, and he's talking all about Baldur's Gate 3. But there's no way I'm going to remember that. He says, this is off topic. I know it is, 1 Minute Man. It's Baldur's Gate 3. We're not doing Baldur's Gate 3 again. We're actually not playing it again until Tuesday. Just listen to this. He says, with the mausoleum puzzle, you can do it properly. Don't run around like a headless chicken while traps are exploding all around you. One person should enter a room full of traps. The key to the puzzle is that there's a book that you've read. There's 3 types of traps. You didn't disarm all of them. They don't activate if you press buttons correctly. It's only going to get worse if you don't pay attention to clues and stay focused. All right. Well, we're not doing Baldur's Gate 3 today. I don't know anything about it. I didn't even know when we were going into that mausoleum. I didn't even know that it was, like, traps and stuff. I had no clue. So, I just kind of shrug. Okay. Again, I'm playing these games cold, right? I don't even know what's going on when I'm playing them. I had no clue. I thought it was just going to be like a dungeon or you explore it. You know, I went in not knowing what to expect. I didn't know that there was going to be that many traps or anything. So now that I kind of know that that's the case, I guess maybe we should approach it. You got to remember also, I was basically trying to kind of rush the end of the stream because we were at the end when we had got in there. So I didn't even know that that's what it was going to be. I was just trying to make as much progress as I could before we ran out of time. You know, which I did. We made progress. Just sadly, you're right. We basically ran into a million fucking traps, and I didn't know what I was doing. I feel like when we play it again on Tuesday, I will reapply myself better to it, pay more attention, you know, to what I'm doing, and take my time. We weren't taking time on yesterday. We were rushing. So taking the time. Now that I know, too, people are saying, oh, this is very long. It might take you multiple streams and stuff. That makes sense. Now I know, and I'll probably say, okay, there's puzzles. Take your time. Try to solve them. Figure it out. Okay? So there you go. Thank you. First tip of the day. Appreciate that 1 Minute Man. As I told you guys, there's no goals today. We're not doing goals. I'm already going to be wearing silly things over the course of today. So there's no goals here to be putting on glasses or anything like that. All right? All right. Cool. Pizza Box Gaming just did a super chat. He says, in Gauntlet of Shar, look at a painting on the floor before a puzzle or else you'll keep failing. Go Vegas Raiders. There you go. Again, I appreciate you guys with this, but you realize none of this will be pertinent until I actually play the game again on, until I play the game on Tuesday. So, I, probably am not going to be able to remember any of this. I recommend you come back on Tuesday and then we have this discussion again. Okay? Cool. I received a $3 tip from Kirk Reborn, who says, I'm in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. Is that where it is this year? I didn't even know that it was in Las Vegas. I miss you. I'll be back next week. I'm having a great time. Go Niners. Ciao. All right. Well, thank you, Kirk, for a $3 tip. He's claiming he's not here today. He's in Vegas. I guess we'll see. Cool. All right. So far, the voting is very close. You guys want to see multiplayer first today, which I'm totally down for. The voting is neck and neck between Tekken and Call of Duty. It's only like 1 or 2%, which means it's like 4 votes. That's between the two. So please keep voting, okay? All right. All right. So that's the shout-outs we got so far. let's continue. Whatever you guys want to talk about today, tag me in the chat. We'll do a little bit of Q&A and chill while you vote. And like I said, what I'll do is I'll grab some liquor for whatever we're doing first, and go from there. Okay. All right, Derek. I'll see you for this little bit of the stream. That's cool. It's good to have you. What's up for Helgen? For Helgen's making a joke. He says, "Isn't football soccer?" Well, American football or the NFL is what I grew up actually, into and watching on TV. I used to always watch NFL when my dad would watch it sometimes and stuff like that. But funny enough, the first sports game I ever went to was a baseball game, a New York Mets baseball game at Shea Stadium. Jade says, I love the NFL, but I'm not a big fan of the Super Bowl. WrestleMania is my Super Bowl. I'd love to see some June today if we play Tekken 8. Perhaps. Perhaps we will pick June today. We'll see. Did I play football in college? No, I played no sports. Yeah, I know. Carlton Jr. says, I wish that the cups and straws attached to this helmet last year weren't trash. It was bad. It was leaking everywhere. Remember, that's what was funny? I went to use it, and it was only coming out of one side. It was supposed to come out of both sides. It only came out of one, and then it just started leaking all over me. During the stream, I was like, well, I can't fucking wear this thing. So I put the helmet on a few times, but at the end of the stream, I threw this in my bathtub, and I ripped all the shit out of it and threw all those out. And I was like, all right, at least I could still... The cool thing is, it's like a real regular size helmet, so I could still wear it today as a prop. You know what I mean? But it is annoying that the whole beer helmet thing was just a piece of junk. By the way, this thing was fucking expensive. I'm not kidding. This thing was like $50 online, and it's a piece of junk. Like, what the hell, man? Pizza Box Gaming did a super chat. Says, any plans for Last Epic? I'm going to stream it. I don't even know what that is. What is Last Epic? I have no clue. Did I ever play tackle football? No. They weren't allowed. They don't let you do that in school. I used to play like flag football with my friends. We had flags and stuff. And, but then that all went away when I got my back injury. That was the problem. I hurt my back, and then I couldn't do that kind of shit anymore, which really sucked. We already talked about this. Kat is at first today. The first thing she's going to make is the pizza balls, which is little bite-sized, balls of pastry dough with, mozzarella cheese and seasoning on top. And then we're going to dip that in marinara sauce. So that's the first snack she's going to make. And then for dinner, around dinner time, 4 or 5-ish, she's going to make these big quesadillas. And then later on, we're going to have, a 6-layer dip when I'm actually simulating the Super Bowl match at the end of the marathon today. So we're going to have 3 different waves of snacks coming out today, along with all the booze. So... I've never been to an NFL game. The only games I've ever been to was several different New York Mets games. That was it. Those are the only sports, major sports events I've been to. Outside of that, it was all high school stuff. I went to high school hockey games and stuff like that, but that was it. Oh, well, that's nice. Derek says this is actually the first year he gets to spend time with his relatives. Last time was before COVID. Well, that's nice to hear that your relatives are all getting together. For Helgen says, I grew up playing baseball, then I wrestled a bit in high school, not too big into sports. Jade says, I miss Call of Duty. Well, according to the poll, it looks like we may be doing Call of Duty first. I think Call of Duty is ahead by about 4%, which is about 12 votes. So unless that flips, which it could, but unless that flips, it looks like Call of Duty will be first, which I'm down for. But I'm definitely going to get some booze for that. Do so. Take some pictures of food and share it with us. Sounds good. Did I ever wear a basketball jersey? Nope. I was never really into basketball, honestly. Just wasn't. I don't know if it was just the sport itself. In high school, not high school, in elementary school, my school actually had a basketball team. And the funny part about it was I had a basketball hoop when I was a kid, so I could shoot, and I was actually good at it. You want to know what I was terrible at? Dribbling. I couldn't dribble the ball to save my life. So imagine a basketball player who's amazing at shooting but can't move the fucking ball. I'd be the worst basketball player ever. So I went to the tryout for basketball. And the first thing is they say, okay, stand at the free throw line and just take free throw shots. And I think I got 9 in a row. I was just like, zoop, zoop. And the coach was like, whoa, this is cool. And then okay, part 2, dribble. And I was like an idiot. I couldn't do it at all. And you could tell how disappointed he was because he was like, oh, man, he was going to be really good. And then he watched me try to dribble. He was like, wow, you suck. And I didn't make the team. What a shocker, right? What a shock. It's just funny how you can be somehow coordinated in one way and completely uncoordinated in another. Oh, I know. Person said it's funny because the Seahawks were once a great team for several years and have one of the most unique venues and stadiums. When I moved here 10 years ago in 2014, it was coming off of their Super Bowl win. So they had won in 2013. So everyone thought that, like, the Seahawks were going to be hot shit, right? Actually, I take that back. I think they won in 2013. No, they won in 2014. They won right around the time I had moved out here. So everyone out here was crazy into football. Everyone was wearing a Seahawks jersey. They had Seahawks shit all over their cars, flags. Every store was bursting with Seahawks merchandise, right? And then that year, they got into the Super Bowl again, and they choked. They had it won, and they fucking choked and lost. And then since then, they haven't really done anything. So it was funny because for 2 years, everyone was heavy NFL out here. And now it's like, well, so much for that, right? Inevitable future, we are playing a sports game. We're simulating the Super Bowl later today. That's the finale of the marathon. Because he says, why aren't you playing a sports game for your event? Because we are. We're just doing it at the end. There you go. That is true. SD Charger says, back when Seattle was a safe and nice place. You're absolutely true. 100%. When I moved here, this major city of Seattle was safe and fun to be a tourist at. And now it's gone completely the other way. Crime is rampant. Businesses are evacuating and moving out and say they can't do business here anymore because they get robbed so much. So it's pretty bad, the situation, but this ain't political stream. We don't need to talk about that. We're here to play some football, or are we? No, we're here to sim some football later and to do other stuff. Ambulatory, I already explained the food 3 times, man. Why are you asking me again? Literally just explained it like 3 times. Ambulatory, here's what I need you to do. I need you to take your finger, and I need to put it in your ear and get the wax out. Get the wax out of your ear, because I already said it multiple times. All right, just take this and stick it right in there. Okay. There you go. They won in 2014. They lost in 2015. There you go. There's the stats. It seems like every game I played was in Seattle when I moved out here too. Like Life is Strange and Infamous Second Son were both in Seattle. So I moved to Seattle and I play a series of games that take place in Seattle. It was really weird. I agree there. Have I played NFL Blitz arcade or PlayStation games? Yes. NFL Blitz was huge in the arcades back in the day. I loved it. Because, you know, first of all, NBA Jam was huge. And then NFL Blitz was basically the 3D NFL version of that. And it was really fun. Jasper, I don't know if Jasper will come in here today or not. We'll see. Because the thing is, if he comes in, then he's going to want to stick around. Which, obviously, I need to have the door closed all day because my echoing, booming voice throughout the house, so. Derek, sure, you can do that. Yes. Okay. Well, the poll is still very close. It's a 1% poll right now between Tekken and Call of Duty, so let's see what people want. I'll do either. I'm down for either. Any last-minute thoughts, anyone? Anything you want to talk about? No contributions to shout out right now, so. We're not doing Baldur's Gate today. We're doing Baldur's Gate Tuesday and Wednesday. You can stop asking for it right now. It ain't happening today. Why would I do Street Fighter? I played Street Fighter for 7.5 months straight. I'm glad to not be playing Street Fighter right now because I need the break from it. Why would I play Street Fighter today? I'd much rather play Tekken. Yes, I will be switching jerseys at some point. I have 3 of them. Maybe what we'll do is play the first game for a bit, and then when we're going to switch, then I'll switch jerseys too. I'll switch it all day. I'll switch the jerseys, you know. JP guy did a super chat and says, Tekken's my favorite fighting game franchise. What is yours and why? Obviously, I'm going to say Street Fighter because that was the originator. That's the one I grew up playing in arcades because I played it since day 1 when Street Fighter 2 came out. My favorite being Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. But I massively respect Tekken. Tekken is my second favorite fighting game franchise of all time. I've really enjoyed getting into Tekken this last 2 weeks. And, you know, I like now, I want to say huge shout out to Jade, because Jade suggested turning on the jukebox in the game, which plays all the music from all the Tekkens. I'm loving hearing the music from all the different Tekkens now. It's super fun. Knocked? I have no idea what you're talking about. When will we get Fightcade? Later this year. When exactly? I have no idea. We're not going to be doing Fightcade when there's high profile brand new fighting games out. So, can I switch jerseys on camera? No, I'm not going to show off my body on camera. There's someone who does that regularly. His name's ReviewTech USA. You can go check him out if you want to see like a big bulbous white guy, hairy guy shirtless. He does it for money. I put clothes on for money. I do the opposite. I cover up my body. See? All right, Derek, I'll see you later. No, I already said I've never been to an NFL game. The only professional sports games I've ever been to were baseball, which is, what is baseball's abbreviation? I can't even remember. I seriously can't remember baseball's fucking 3 letters. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, I've been to 2 New York Mets games. MLB, thank you. Major League Baseball. Yes. No, I don't hate baseball. Who said that? I don't hate baseball at all. I've played MLB games over the years and had a lot of fun with them. They're chill games for the audience. We hang out and talk and relax while I play them. I like baseball. Pizza Box Gaming did another super chat. Why do you think 3D fighters have fallen so much in modern times? Tekken is seemingly the only one still going. Soul Calibur, DOA are dead. They never were popular, though. Like, Soul Calibur and DOA were always, like, way lower down than Tekken. You have to understand that. I think a lot of people just forget that. Never was Soul Calibur was always the second franchise from Namco. It was always Tekken way up here, and then Soul Calibur kind of down here. And sometimes one would be more prominent or less, but it never was tops. DOA, no. Dead or Alive never really got major mainstream recognition. That whole game system is a much inferior competitive game system. It's basically based on rock, paper, scissors. Like, each ability, like punch, kick, and throw, each one basically counters each other one. So it's really just based on like a lot of rock, paper, scissors guessing. So I'm not surprised that it never really got that prominent. A lot of DOA was just eye candy. You know, the graphics of the game and the character designs and things like that. It never really was about high-end gameplay. But no, I would say always Tekken was the prominent 3D fighter. At one point, Virtua Fighter came out first, and it was Tekken and Virtua Fighter in the 90s. And then Virtua Fighter just kind of fizzled out, and Tekken became more and more prominent and mainstream. Jacob just did a super chat. He said, I wonder if anyone in chat has been playing Helldivers 2. It's so fun. Yeah, I mean, I talked about that yesterday. I looked into it, and the game does look fun. It's a 2-player co-op game where you're basically killing a bunch of, like, bugs and stuff. So it looks good, but for me, you know, being that it's a 2-player co-op game, I'm not really into those. If it was like an online multiplayer game, maybe, or even like a Gears of War single-player style, maybe but being that it's that 2-player online, you know, multiplayer support style game, I'm probably not going to be interested in it. But if you're into that, if you're looking for a good co-op game with a buddy, it's probably really good. Am I a fan of O.J. Simpson, and do I think he did it? I wasn't basically following pro football back when O.J. Simpson was prominent. I actually knew him as the actor from the Naked Gun movies. Seriously, I knew him more there than from actual NFL. Do I think he did it? You know, I don't really care. A lot of people say that there's been so much overwhelming evidence over the years that yes, he probably did do it, but I don't really give a shit. Cat's anniversary. What does that even mean? Are you talking about our wedding anniversary on April 10th? Is that what you're talking about? You realize that anniversary and Cat's anniversary are not our wedding anniversary. What are you saying? What the heck are you trying to say? Yikes. Carlton Jr. says, I would say the 360 era is when Virtua Fighter fell off. Virtua Fighter 5 was a good game, but was considered too hard to play. Tekken 5, DR, and then 6 became the definitive 3D fighters. Yes, Jade says you're welcome for the jukebox suggestion. Yeah, it's one of the best suggestions. I love hearing all the old Tekken music. It's super fun. Well, the voting is still neck and neck, and now Tekken 8 has slowly inched its way above Call of Duty. So now, should we do Tekken 8 first? If that's the case, I got to swap because I actually had the Xbox set up today. But if you guys want Tekken first, then I got to swap back over to the PlayStation and get that up and running. I got the wrong console on here. I'll let the poll go for a little longer. But we're basically almost done with the show, just so everyone knows. We're about to adjourn in just a minute or two. I do not have an overall favorite game. No, I do not. My interests are genre specific. I have interest in each genre. I have favorite games, but I don't have an overall favorite because I think that games are so diverse in the way that they're played and the styles and the genres that I don't think you can really compare. Like, how could you say what's better, Super Mario World or Street Fighter 2? They're not even the same at all. They're not even close to being identical, so how can you compare them, right? I couldn't tell you which one is better. I think they're both outstanding games, best in class, but I couldn't tell you which is better. You know what I mean? That's how I am. I separate that stuff in my head. What is my favorite pretzel shape? Traditional or rods? I'll go with traditional. It's a very important choice. What's going on, Rugal? How are you today? No, there are not ads every 3 minutes. You're a liar, Demolition Daddy, and I don't appreciate that. I purposefully checked, and I set ads to specifically moderate today, which is, I believe, every 30 minutes. Like, every 30 minutes, I believe there'll automatically be an advertisement. I made sure it wasn't aggressive ads today because people were complaining recently that there were too many ads, so I double and triple checked to make sure it was reasonable today. So I don't want to hear that baloney. Don't even start. No, you cannot adjust the actual frequency of ads. YouTube has 3 settings, okay? The settings are as follows. Listen to how in-depth this is. Ready? I'll read it to you. Conservative, lower earnings potential, less interruption viewer experience. For what I'm going to understand, if you set it to that, you barely get any ads at all. If you're lucky, you might get 1 an hour, but you really don't get that many at all. Balanced, which is middle of the road. Medium settings, medium earning potential, balanced viewer experience. That's supposed to be like an ad every 30 minutes. Now, aggressive says higher earning potential, more interruption viewing experience. I don't know how many that is, but when I've turned that on once or twice, people have said that they're getting constant ads. So I always try to put it on medium. The truth is, if you have YouTube Plus or YouTube Premium, you don't see them at all, and it doesn't matter, right? But I don't want to bombard those of you who don't have YouTube Premium or a good ad block. I don't want to make this stream ad, and you can't even enjoy it. That's fucking stupid, you know? Would I replay Resident Evil 7 again? I don't know. I don't know if replaying it now would really matter. Like, I pretty much still remember most of the game, right? So probably not. Maybe I would go back and replay it again in years. No, I can definitely tell you guys YouTube keeps changing shit. Because, for example, YouTube, what used to happen is I used to get a pop-up on my screen because I have my dashboard open on my desktop right now over here, and there used to be a pop-up saying an ad's about to play. And if it was a time when I felt that was intrusive to the stream, I was able to cancel it out. You could actually click and say, cancel that ad. And I would do that every once in a while. If you're doing a narrative-based game or something interesting's happening, I'd be like, okay, cancel that ad. I don't want to run an ad right now. They removed that feature. It's gone. It's totally removed. It doesn't happen anymore. I just noticed it over the last few days, and I'm like, why is it gone? Because YouTube just removed it. Didn't say anything about removing it. They just decided to remove it. That's how YouTube is. They just change shit. They don't tell anyone. They just do whatever they want. So that's the situation. But maybe they've changed ad frequency, and I don't have control over it. Like, I can't set it to say run an ad every 20 minutes. I can't do that. All I have are the 3 options, and then YouTube decides to do whatever it wants once you do one of those 3 options. Well, it looks like Tekken has won the first poll. All right, so we'll do that first. And in fact, what I'll probably do now is end the show and head downstairs and grab a beer. And I'll start drinking a beer while we play Tekken. And then after that, I'll probably go to a mixed drink after that. Like maybe like a Long Island iced tea or something like that. But I kind of just want to follow up with more King. Because I played King last night and I was having a good time with King. And I was getting some pretty good matches in. But what ended up happening was, whenever I get into a groove, I run out of time. So I started going on like a good win streak. I'm like, oh, this is excellent. And then we were out of time for the night. I'm like, ah, fuck. So I think I want to do more King today. Okay? But I got to switch consoles now. Because I didn't realize you guys were going to vote for Tekken as the first thing. So I had the Xbox set up. So I'm going to have to swap over these consoles. But, all right. So everyone, thank you. Those of you who are here chilling with me on the podcast, I appreciate that. Let's get this marathon started. A fun day today together here on DSPGaming. Various things we're doing. Remember, later on, one of the things we're doing by the end of the show, DSP Tries It returns. I'm trying Mr. Beast candy bars. Live today on the show. I'm going to taste test them and let you know what I truly think. And you know what? If they're good, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. And if they suck ass, I'm going to tell you it tastes like a monkey's butt. I'll tell you exactly what that chocolate's like. Okay? All right, guys, thank you. Let's end the show. And hopefully tomorrow we'll be doing some fun recap of everything that we did today and talking about how it went. Actually, you know, I should probably remove the Super Bowl picture now because we're not doing that anymore, right? After today, I should probably remove it. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? Oh, here it is. But you know what I should add? Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Then I'm going to do something right now on the fly. If I can find it. Actually, I don't think it's here. Ah, shucks. Where did I put it? Hold on. It should be right here. Here we go. Alright, so just give it a second and you're going to see it. Anyway, so tomorrow I'm sure we will recap everything we did today. That was fun. And and get started with all the new festivities. Tomorrow being React Day and everything. There it is. Very nice. Alright. I hope you all have plans for Valentine's Day coming up this week. Alright. Thank you all for watching the Level 1 podcast. I will see you all tomorrow.